Nathan Gill, UKIP MEP for Wales. We now know that Wales is going to get £1.1 billion in European regional development funding. What's your reaction? It's a large sum of money coming to Wales.
Well, it's a large headline sum of money, but £1.1 billion over 7 years actually isn't really that much money, especially seeing as it's ring-fenced. We've got to spend it in areas that we're told where to spend it. We have to match fund it, and at the end of the day, as we keep on saying to people, it's just our money coming back to us. You know, the EU does not raise its own taxes, it's given money from the British taxpayer, and it's just our money coming back.
The Welsh Government says it's a boost for the economy, it will create a lot of jobs. They look at the figures for the previous period, the previous 5-year period, where they say 30,000 jobs were created and hundreds of thousands of people, 187,000 people gained qualifications. When you look at those kind of figures, those are surely benefits that Wales is getting from being a member of the European Union, isn't it?
Well, they said that about Objective 1 and they said it about the divergent funding, and here we are, a third tranche of money because we're one of the worst performing regions of the EU. So whether this money is going to be spent well, I very much doubt it, because we have a track record of the Welsh Government not spending it good. And at the end of the day, as we keep on saying, if we want to train people, why don't we do it ourselves using our own money instead of sending such huge amounts of money, £55 million every day, to have some of it creamed off, kept here, wasted, lost through fraud and things like that. Why don't we spend our own money on ourselves straight away on the things that we feel are priorities, instead of letting the EU give us our money back and tell us how to spend it?
How do you feel about the way this money has been spent in the past? You mentioned there that not all of it has been spent successfully. Indeed, there are projects that have been, I think it's fair to say, complete disasters in the end. But there are others that at least the Welsh Government would say have been big successes, lead to more investment in Wales, more jobs and so forth. Is that not to be welcomed?
Well, with the £6 billion that we've received, obviously there will be good and there will be bad. I'm afraid there's probably been more bad than good, but of course we welcome the good use of money. Of course we do. What we're not happy about, though, is when they give money to councils to spend, or to the universities, which I don't think has been a good use of this money. We're hoping that this time it will be used wisely. We don't think that using this money for things like renewable energy is a good use of the money. We think that it would be better off to use the money in one big project, like perhaps making sure that the whole of Wales has, a decent broadband or even a decent 3G signal, because there are massive parts of Wales where you can't even get a decent mobile phone signal. These are ways that we could actually affect people's lives for the positive, instead of giving it to a few large companies to help them boost their profits.
To sum up then, considering that Wales has had, as you said, several tranches of this billion, we're talking about billions of pounds worth of funding, and yet Wales still is one of the poorest performing regions in Europe. What does that say to you about this funding?
Well, it shows that where government tries to step in, they very rarely succeed. And of all of the regions that originally received this objective funding, I think it was 15 years ago, we are the only, we're one of 8 which are still receiving it. And this includes areas like southern Italy and Greece. So I think the proof of the pudding is always in the eating. The Welsh Government has failed miserably with the last 10 years worth of this funding, and we are yet to be convinced that they're going to do any better over the next 5-7 years.